Hello and welcome back to Vagabond Vans. I'm Sam Payne. I know that it's been absolutely ages since I last uploaded a video. I actually had to go back and watch the last video that I uploaded because I've just forgotten what the last thing was that I shared with you guys. I hate watching my own videos, so that was a bit painful, but did that, and now I can share with you what I've done over the last couple of months. I have done a lot. I've actually just been so busy doing the van, I didn't have time to upload videos, but I've kind of finished that super busy period. The van is now in a state where it's usable, definitely not finished, but it is usable. So today I'm just gonna give you an update of what I've done, and I'm gonna call it a semi-van tour, or the Impatient Man's van tour. I have used the van. I took it to France over New Year, now back from that trip. So we're a bit out of sequence for the videos because there is going to be a couple of vlogs on the France trip. But yeah, let's share with you guys what I've done and where I'm at with the van. It's probably changed a lot since the last video. There is a lot to get through because I have been working super hard over the last couple of months. In this video, I'm just going to cover the bench seat slash second bed because it slides out to form the bed, the window area, the sill, the frame, the blind that I've installed, and the fold out or swing out leaf shaped table. That's all that I'm going to cover in this video, and then there'll be another series of videos or parts that will come out and cover all the other stuff like the kitchen unit. I'll go into a bit of detail on the electrics. I'll start talking about the storage that I've put in. I'll talk about the bulkhead, I'll talk about the ceiling, I'll talk about all sorts of stuff. There's a number of parts. So I thought we'd start off today by talking about the bench seat. The bench seat is pretty much finished apart from a few coats of paint. It's even complete with cushions, which I'm pretty happy with. Last time you saw the bench seat, I think it was just a frame. So obviously I've cladded that frame in tongue and groove panels, just 8mm softwood internal cladding. I've then added a top to the bench seat, use 18mm ply here. We'll go into a bit more detail on that in a second. And then on this section, it's a bit complicated. I'll show you how all that works in a minute. But essentially, this part of the bed pulls out, locates in this bit of oak here to form another double bed. So the van can actually sleep 4 people. Underneath the bench seat, in this area here, it's just storage for pots and pans. There's obviously some electrical paneling here, so you've got the back of those there. Then in the corner here is my battery, inverter, solar controller, lots of fuses, lots of wiring. Under this section here is the water heater. Under where I'm sitting is the gas heater. And then this section here, there's water fittings, a water pump, a water accumulator, strainer, and then it's actually storage. I designed it so that there was space for some storage of long items like snowboards and stuff that they can fit lengthways in the van. Let's take the cushions off and I'll show you how it folds out to a bed. Yeah, so underneath the cushions you can see that, I'll take these out of the way, I'll explain what they are in a minute. So it's constructed of this lengthways beam a very thin bit of ply, I think that's just 5mm, and then these interlacing slats. So each alternative one is fixed to the frame of the bench, and then these other ones are fixed to the ply and to the beam at the front. So that slides out like so. And then I just have to lift it up over a bit of oak there. And then that locates in there at this end. And at the other end, there's this bit of oak here, which the beam just rests on. And that also acts as a step up into the bed because it is quite high. Again, we'll come on to that in a minute. As I mentioned earlier, underneath this section of the bed, you've got the water heater, the gas heater, water pump, accumulator, water tank, and then that area down there is just storage for long bits like snowboards. At the moment, I've just got these ply boards here, which go over that section. When I'm not using it, they've just been sitting on top of there. Just go over that section, just so that if you're lying on that bit, you don't feel the dips in between the slats, because the cushions are relatively thin. It's perfectly comfortable. I've slept on it for 10 nights in France. But yeah, that's just to offer a little bit of support to avoid you feeling that in your back. Then the cushions, this one was the backing cushion that went there. That folds down just like that. It's got like a fabric hinge along the top there. And this one, that was the base, sits in there like that. Those two cushions are then redundant. But yeah, it's perfectly comfortable double bed. As I say, I slept on it for 10 nights. The width is 1.15 meters. Yeah, so as I say, those two cushions are really redundant, but I'll show you I'm 6'3", and I can comfortably fit on the bed. Like that. I mean, you could use that as a cushion. I didn't. Yeah, happy days. Eventually, what I think I'll do is the ply slats that are here, I will insert them into these cushions. Just so that it's one less kind of operation in getting the bed out, and then you don't even know they're there. It just makes things a bit easier. And they're only very thin 5mm ply, so they shouldn't add too much thickness to this cushion when it's acting as a backrest. So I'll put that away again now and show you what that looks like. I'll show you what I did with the wood. So it's obviously tongue and groove panelled on the front here, and then I haven't gone all the way up. So this beam here is part of the frame of the bench seat. So I haven't gone all the way up. So that this beam, which off the top of my head, I think is 89 by 38mm. It's a pretty thick bit of timber. That's what's giving it the strength of the bed. That just covers up that gap really nicely, and I don't know if you'll be able to see, there's just a chamfer on that edge to make it sit nice and tight. This end, you can see that I've profiled it it down to allow the, let me just make sure that's all the way in, fridge door to get past it. You can see there by the mark that it needs to a little bit more to come off of it. And so I just decided to keep it really simple. I was thinking about using drawer sliders and considered all different kinds of options in order to give it the strength, but I'm actually really chuffed with how that's turned out. And I like the little oak features. Eventually all the tongue and groove panelling is going to be painted white, so it'll be a nice contrast between the two. And I haven't had any problems with that beam slipping off of there. The other end where the beam sits in, that's what gives it its location. And yeah, like I say, slept 10 nights on that, absolutely no problems at all. So yeah, I'll just finish putting that away. As I say, these just sit under the cushion at the moment, but I am going to insert them into the hinged cushion, which is this one, and then that just sits there underneath the windowsill. And that does bring me quite nicely onto the window frame and the windowsill actually. So I bought another bit of oak. I wanted like a windowsill, like in a house, and it just gives it, like when we were camped out somewhere for a few nights, it's just another like shelf effectively, the saw bits, which is really handy, especially because obviously the storage bits up here and elsewhere in the van isn't finished. I haven't put any treatment on the oak yet. I am going to oil it, just didn't have time. Also used a bit of oak framing around the window, which I'm really pleased with. Again, no finish on that yet. This was nice and tight before I went away, but it just opened up as the van bedded in a bit and moved around, so I need to sort of address that and just make that look nice and tidy again. And obviously there's some sanding here that needs to be done, but I just ran out of time. I ordered a custom roller blind to fit in here, just a red roller blind. It just comes down, gives you a nice bit of privacy. That actually works really well. I'm really pleased with that. I wasn't sure about whether to use curtains or blinds or whatnot. Really pleased with how that's turned out. And then I'll just do a bit of a close-up. And so kind of internally, I just added these bits of ply that form like the internal frame, and the blind is then just mounted to those. They're just connected to the tongue and groove panelling. Obviously this all looks quite untidy at the moment, needs tidying up a bit, sanding down, painting, etc. But the same on the other side. So there's even labels still on it, shows you how little time I've had to sort of finish it and tidy things up. But yeah, so that's how that looks. If we just have a look at the window on the sliding door on the other side. So you can see there's no frame on that or roller blind yet. I just didn't have time before I went away, but I'll do a similar-ish kind of thing. I want to use a roller blind again, I think. I haven't mowed my mind up totally. And it's a bit complicated there because obviously nothing can stick out too far because the door's got to open and close. So I need to give that a little bit of thought. But before I went away, just made up these insulative blinds, just with a bit of insulative bubble wrap, some of these suction cups, and then some insulative foam. They work really well actually. Definitely kept a lot more heat in than if we hadn't have had them. So really pleased we did those before we went. I have got one for that side as well, which is just on the proper bed over there. The final thing that I'm going to talk about in this video is my table. I put a lot of thought into this because of the L shape of the bench, it does make it quite hard with regards to where a table is going to go, and also the fact that that bench slides out to form a bed limits what you can do. So I ended up just using a swivel table on the side of this bench sheet. I went for like a leaf shape. And that is really versatile because you can slide it around when you're not using it, slide it out of the way, stick it over here, and so it's just got this knob here and a little lever here which controls how tight it is, and then that can obviously be stowed away like that if I'm not using it, and then when you're using it you just spin it round, tighten bits up. The table does have a bit of a slant to it which I need to address. This is perpendicular to the floor, so it's something going on here that's throwing it off. Maybe the post in here that I've used isn't perpendicular to the table, but yeah, I need to have a little think about that. As I said, it's like a leaf shape. I just didn't want, there's quite a lot of square edges in the van, like with the tabletop, the kitchen worktop is very square. The corner of the wardrobe is very square, so I wanted to start introducing some round edges. So use the shape of a leaf. Obviously again, this hasn't been finished. I need to varnish this or do some kind of finish to protect it. It's actually made out of 3 layers of scrap ply that I glued and screwed together. And the reason for that is really just because I was starting to seriously run out of money by the time I got to the point of making the table. And then just got my router bit and profiled the edge to give it a nice rounded edge. And so what gives it its strength is I'll take it out actually and turn it over. That's what it looks like from the underside. There are a lot of screws in it, holding obviously those 3 layers of ply together, and then we've got these thicker bits, so that's 2 18mm bits of ply, another 18mm bit of ply, and then just some scrap bits holding that dowel really tight in there. that's the table. Pretty simple, a bit scruffy underneath. Not particularly happy with that, to be honest. So maybe I need to figure out a way to cover that up. Maybe I'll paint the underside, or not sure, but it does look a bit shit on the underside of it. But yeah, the table worked really well. I do just need to sort out that lean. I'll probably counter that by making that on the piss a bit, so that the table is flatter when it's in operation. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you found that useful. There is quite a lot of detail in the video. That's intentional. I want there to be enough detail so that if you guys see something that you like, you can either steal my idea, steal part of my idea for your van, or you know, just you've got enough information to kind of start asking me questions if you do want to do something similar to what I've done. If you did find this video useful, entertaining, I don't know, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe if you haven't done so, hit the bell so that you don't miss the other parts of this sort of mini series of videos, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Cheers. So this has just happened. So this is all wood glue. It's not meant to be there. There's meant to be a little bit right along the top face of this bit of ply. I squeezed the bottle and a lot came out and the lid fell off. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that.